Hi everyone, this is Robin, and this is the last week this week for week 6. So last week we really talked about some miscellaneous information. We set up the idea of level 2 evaluation, began our deeper dive into that, and then I also asked you to read a web page exploring reliability in academic assessment. And again, we did this for 2 reasons. One, because it's useful to understand the concept of reliability, and also because many people in this class work in an academic environment. I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to read this article. And then we also had an optional reading on experiencing a paradigm shift through assessment, which really focuses more on learner-centered assessment rather than instructor or content-centered assessment. Now, in terms of assignments, there was no required assignment last week, which I know was fantastic. You did, of course, as always, have your weekly forum posting. And then because there was no assignment, I went ahead and gave a bonus forum assignment to discuss that optional chapter on experiencing a paradigm shift through assessment. And I know several of you participated in that. So I will get those bonus assignments, those forums graded on Monday. And I am just about finished with your level 1 evaluation. So by the time you listen to this on Monday, your level 1 evaluations will be done as well. So that was all last week. Let's talk about this week. So last week we began our deeper dive into level 2 evaluation. And this week we are going to start working on level 2 evaluations. So for this week, I'm going to have you read some general guidelines for test development and a handout on how to create true-false questions and how to create multiple choice questions. So I'm going to go away from this screen for a minute. Here's our tentative course outline, and I just wanted to frame up for you what's going to be happening for the next several weeks. So here we are at week 6, starting February 11th, writing questions, true, false, multiple choice. We just talked about that. But really, the next 3 weeks are going to be about level 2 evaluation, writing test questions. So again, you can see this week is about true, false, multiple choice questions. Next week is going to be about writing completion, matching, and short answer questions. And then week 8 is going to be about writing essay tests and designing rubrics so you can effectively and consistently grade those essay tests. And then if you look over to the column to the right, you'll see that there is an assignment due for each of the next 3 weeks. So week 6, you're going to turn in writing test number 1, which is on true, false, multiple choice. On week 7, you're going to turn in writing test number 2, which is on completion, matching, and short answer. And then week 8, you're going to turn in writing test number 3. Now, we are also in week 9 going to be focusing on level 2 evaluation. Week 9, we're not going to be writing test questions, but we're going to be learning about something called classroom assessment techniques, or CAT is what we call them for short. And so that is also a level 2 evaluation. And of course, just as a reminder, level 2 evaluations measure learning. So that is what's happening for the next 4 weeks. The next 4 weeks, we're going to focus on level 2 evaluations. Now, I do want to pause for a minute and say, so what are you going to rate your level 2 evaluations about? So this week, we're going to be writing true, false, multiple choice questions. Well, if you remember, we have really 2 different kinds of case studies going on in our class. There are some people who wrote a case study for a class that they attended. So that's going to be the basis for their case study. And then there are other people who wrote their case study about a real-life class that you currently teach or that you are going to teach in the future. And so I just want to let you know, for both of those kinds of case studies, one option for you is to write it says text questions. Sorry, typo alert. That should be test questions. Write your test questions about the test question. So what do I mean by that? I mean that for week 6, we're learning about true, false, and multiple choice questions. You're going to write your test about how to write effective true, false, and multiple choice questions. So it will be a test about what it is that you've learned for this week. So you'll have true-false questions that can be on how to write true-false questions and how to write multiple choice questions. And then you'll have multiple choice questions that can be about how to write true-false questions or how to write multiple choice questions. So the actual questions will be the subject of your test. And so regardless of which kind of case study you wrote, whether it's a class you're teaching or a class you attended, this is what you can do for the assignment for this week, next week, and week 8. Now, if you're doing a real life class that you are currently teaching or that you will teach in the future, you also have an option of writing your test questions, typo alert, writing your test questions for your actual case study. So if you are teaching a class on Electronics 101, you can write your test questions about true, false, multiple choice questions, or you can write them for your Electronics 101 class. Now, what you won't be doing is just copying questions that you already have. If you're going to write the test questions for your real life case study, then what I want you to do is to use this as an opportunity to learn about these kinds of questions so that you can write true, false, multiple choice for this week questions that are more effective. So you're not going to be just turning in a test you already have. You're going to be creating a test from scratch, no matter what you do for this week. But again, I wanted to give people who are teaching a real life class, I want to give you the opportunity through these assignments for the next 4 weeks to write tests that you can then use in your actual class. So I feel like that might have been a little confusing the way that I explained it. If you have questions on any of this, it's in the assignment sheet in the framework. And if you still have questions, you're welcome to reach out to Chandra or me to get clarification on that. All right, let's go back to what's happening this week. So we talked about already for this week, you're going to read the general guidelines for test development, and then you're going to read how to create true-false questions, how to create multiple choice questions. I also have a video for you to watch where I talk about consistent formatting and readability in your evaluation. So what I'm going to use as an example is from 2 weeks ago when you did your level 1 evaluation. So I'm actually going to take a level 1 evaluation and I'm going to make changes to it in order to make the formatting more consistent and to make it more readable. Why do we care about consistent formatting and readability in evaluation? We care about it because we don't want anything to get in the way or to distract or to make it harder for people to take our evaluations. We want the evaluations to be as consistent and readable as possible so that we really are only evaluating the knowledge that the student has. We're not evaluating their ability to navigate our instruments, to navigate our actual handouts that we're giving them for evaluation. So I'm doing this video on the level 1 evaluation, but the information in there on consistent formatting and readability is true for all of the evaluations that you're going to be doing in this class. Now, in addition to that, of course, you have some assignments. So you are going to complete your writing assignment test number 1, writing test assignment number 1, where you are going to be creating a test that has true-false questions and has multiple choice questions. Then, of course, you'll also have, let me jump down, you'll also have forum discussions, and graduate students, just as a reminder, the final topics for your paper are due to me by Sunday. And I had a couple of questions on this week. The graduate assignment is only required of graduate students. Undergraduate students, you do not need to worry about doing the graduate student assignment. So that is what's going on this week. If you have any questions, be sure to let Chandra or me know. Otherwise, we will see you online.